Hello, you're welcome to Further Together, enriching relationships, creating a better future.
Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode on Further Together. I hope you had a beautiful week. We've had an amazing week. How are you, babe?
I'm good. I'm good. It has been such a beautiful week. We want to thank God for enabling us to do the duties that we've been doing. And I was sending a voice note to a friend, and I was saying, this year, God has been so gracious to us. God has been so gracious to our family, our children, at school, in areas of business, financially. God has been elevating us. So 2022 is such a beautiful year to our family. How are you doing? We know the year is coming to an end, and there will be a lot of pressure sometimes to check and balance, looking at our goals and where we are. But we want to be grateful to God for what He's doing in our lives.
Yep. And just talking of being grateful, we did share earlier on our page that, you know what, in life, you will encounter those peaks, you encounter valleys, you encounter hills and all of those things. But the greatest of all is that we must not give up. No matter what we encounter, we must keep moving, keep thriving, keep going. And this is a message as well that no matter what goals you have set and you have not achieved, let's keep
moving on. And Apostle Paul says, in all things, give thanks. This takes us to our topic for tonight, which is the art of receiving. The art of receiving. And, you know, we grew up where we are told, it's biblical though, to say there is more happiness in giving than in receiving. And that have just, eclipsed our mind from thinking of receiving. So anytime we do things, we just want to give, and we live at we reach a point where we become depleted, where there's a lot of burnout in us. We don't want to give anymore because we are not seeing the reason of giving. There's nobody who is pouring from us. Because they say you give what you have. So you reach a point whereby you feel like you are no longer having much strength to give. Hence, we have come with this topic that in our marriages, in our relationships, there is an art of receiving. And how do you do with that art of receiving? Mr. Madzikatiro say, how are you? Good evening and good to see you. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to welcome you on this platform. Please like and follow us on this page as well as on YouTube and Instagram. If you're a regular like Mr. Madzikatire, want to say thank you and welcome back. Would also encourage you to share with friends and family that we will be able to enjoy together.
And guys, the topics that we bring on here, these are areas that we, in the journey of life, we either realize that it's something that we personally had to work on in order for us to enrich our relationships. Yes, Elder Gabriel, you are the regular.
It's good to see you, man.
There's no one as regular as you. You know that, right? Yeah, it's good to see you and your beautiful wife. And guys, the topics that we bring are topics that sometimes we feel like we need to work on it. You know, there are things that we need to do in order for us to thrive in those areas. Hey, Minister Shama.
Mr. Shama, how are you? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. So, and we were just sharing earlier on, and Kudzie was asking, Priscilla, how well are you at receiving? You know, and he was just taking me through some questions. And I was also picking up areas where I feel I need to work on and areas where I feel I don't have that art of receiving.
It's the art, but we want to also to understand that when we give our lives to Christ in the book of John, chapter 1, verse number 2, and John chapter 1, verse number 2, it says, but all who received him, or to those who received him, who believed in his name, he gave them the right, or he gave them power to be called sons and daughters of God. So, hey, Dr. Henny, how are you?
My own, good to see you.
So there we see that God did not just place us in the position of giving him, but the first thing which God did for us is to receive. So when you're going to Christ, the first thing is, Jesus Christ, I want to receive you as my personal savior before we start giving.
And then you give your life.
Yes.
But you receive
him. Yeah. Then you are giving to him. However, in our relationships, in day-to-day living, we have been taught, we have been conditioned that we have to be giving. And we are seeing that in relationships, in marriages, in families, there are people who are giving until they have no strength to give. And then they start to, they fall in love. If it is ministry, they are getting out of the ministry. If it is relationship, they feel that it's not worth it to be in the relationship because they have given without receiving.
Absolutely. And this, again, we say that it's something that we have to consciously learn. How do we learn? How do we receive that art of receiving, so that we don't get to moments where we feel like I'm depleted, I've given too much without getting anything in exchange. And it takes us to that cost and benefit theory where in psychology it does state that sometimes when you keep on giving and you're not getting back, you can be so depleted to an extent where you feel like this relationship is not worth it. If it's a business, it's not worth it. Why? I'm just giving in and I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything back. And one of your scriptures, which you share with me sometimes, I was darkened.
Yes, Songs of Solomon, Songs of Solomon 1 verse 6. It says, "Look at me. Don't look at me because I'm dark. I was darkened. I was burned by the sun, looking after my sister's vineyard, leaving my own being devoured by the foxes." So there is a person in Songs of Solomon who is crying and saying, "I'm too dark. I abandoned my own field.
It was just giving.
And I was giving. And now I've been burned by the sun, doing other people's work, and yet my own work, I abandoned it." And that shows us that your inability to receive can break relationships. So this person, because they have been giving, and they were not receiving, now they have come to a point whereby they are not seeing the relationship of them and their sister worthy. So your inability to receive can break relationships. So you might think that, I don't want to receive. It's a lie. We have been conditioned to think that we do not want to receive, but everybody wants to receive.
Most especially, we love to receive love. And letting yourself be loved is one of the most important things.
Can you explain that? Letting yourself be loved.
Letting yourself being loved is one of the most important things in relationships. And I think sometimes we love people, but sometimes we don't know how to then receive that love. And when people are trying to show us love, sometimes we respond in such a way that, doesn't encourage the other person to love you, to keep on doing it more. We've got our ways of, responding, be it to the love that we are receiving in such a way that does not encourage other people to love you back. But what we are saying is, letting yourself be loved, which is receiving, letting yourself receive love is one of the greatest things, more than just giving. Giving is good, but actually receiving that love is very, very important.
And that is receiving from your children, receiving from those around you, receiving from your significant other. The question that we may ask is, if someone does what they don't normally do to you, if they give you, how do you react? How do you respond to that giving?
And that one, you know what? People respond differently. Sometimes it may be a spouse that doesn't normally buy you flowers, and then on a particular day they have decided to buy you flowers. How do you receive those flowers? If Kudzie out of randomness just brings me something that he
out of love.
Out of love.
Yes, out of love.
Okay. Yeah. Correction, Priscilla. Out of love, that's something that he doesn't normally do. Am I gonna be like, it's what we say, like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
You don't normally do this. If he remembers your birthday or she remembers your birthday when she doesn't normally do that, how well do you receive that?
And that includes anytime gifts. And it takes us to what are or the areas where do we normally receive? Which areas do we struggle to receive? What are the things that we receive? The first thing that we normally receive and is difficult for people to receive are gifts. How do you receive gifts? Be it anytime gifts, birthday gifts, or gifts for the season, Christmas. How do you receive those gifts when you're given?
And you know what? On that, we were sharing, Kudzie and I, sometimes when I get him gifts, you are so very quick to, like, if it's a shirt, to put it on, you want to try it on immediately.
I wear it straight
away.
I cherish it. I put it away. I iron it. I do all I can with it.
And me, on the other hand, when I receive a gift, I find my time to say, I'm gonna try this dress. I might not try it on that very day, and I might not try it on the next day. I might find a time where I would say, okay, I'm ready to, like, put out my shoes, and I'll be trying this dress with different clothes. So how do you receive gifts? Is it in such a way that encourages your spouse to then say, well, they value
even your children? My brother Ian is here. I saw the children, they bought him a gift from Harrods, and I love the way that he was, showing them out, and he was wearing them. My girls have done this for me. It's a way of encouraging the giver.
And obviously, some people may say that for me, taking it out in the world is not my thing. We do appreciate that, but are you receiving it such a way that the giver knows that you are appreciating the gift? So gifts is part of the things that we receive. The other thing as well is compliments.
Wow.
How do you receive compliments?
Compliments is the most difficult thing to receive, especially at work. You arrive Monday morning and people look and say, oh, wow, Priscilla, your hair looks beautiful.
And then you want to say, oh, it's a wig, it's not my real hair. And you want to downplay yourself, but people are just telling you that your hair looks beautiful. Whether it's a wig or not, it's yours. You bought it. How well do you receive?
You are looking. I like your suit. Your suit is nice. How do you receive compliments? So it's an area that you also have to look at yourself, or look at yourselves if you're sitting with your wife. How do you receive compliments when other people are complimenting you for the things that you have done, for the things that you are wearing, for probably the way that you speak or the way you carry yourself? Some people just look at it, oh, I like your confidence. How do you receive that compliment?
And you know what? I think this as well, the more we are in love, sometimes there are certain compliments you give me that I'll be like, it's Kudzie,
what can he say?
What can you say anyway? If you tell me I'm beautiful, I'll be like, well, you've got to say it because you're my husband. But the thing is, we've got to learn to receive. If a compliment comes, receive it well. Otherwise, you know what? Kudzie might feel like, she doesn't need it. So the next time you go and get your hair done, they're not going to say anything about it. So don't downplay yourself or the compliment that has come to you. And I think one of the things that I used to do a lot when I get a compliment is try and find something to compliment the other person back. So if you
counter compliments.
Counter compliments. So if you tell me, oh, Priscilla, this, I'll find something. Not that it's a fake one. It's not a fake thing. I'll find something genuinely that I love about you as well, and I'll compliment it. But you know what? Just receiving is okay. It's okay to just say, thank you for that compliment.
The other area where we must learn to receive is receiving correction. This is a very painful one. Receiving correction. How do you receive correction if you are being corrected? And it's more difficult if you are receiving the correction from those who are probably your subordinates or people who are under your leadership. Be it your wife, your children. I come from Zimbabwe and I eat sadza almost every day. So you can tell with my accent And there are certain words that I do struggle with. And when I say those words, my kids sometimes they say, Dad, you don't say it that way. This is how you say it. How do I receive when they tell me that, Dad, it's not all, it's all. It's not against, it's against. How do I receive that? Do I say against or against whatever? Or you heard what I want to say? Go ahead. You can't correct me. I'm your father. I was born before you. If your wife is to correct you, how do you take it? If your husband is to correct you, how do you receive correction? We are talking about the art of receiving. Because sometimes if we do not take correction from a friend,
from our loved ones,
from those who love us, we are going to get criticism from enemies. And it will be more painful because they'll be criticizing things that are real. So how do we take correction?
Owen Madzikatira, thank you for joining us. It's lovely to have you on. Guys, do kindly share this broadcast so that other people can be blessed as well. And if you have any comments, do throw them in, because we believe that we can learn.
We also learn. We learn from each other.
And other people can be blessed as well. So yes, correction is a big one, and it's something that is so hard to chew. But how do you receive correction when it comes, be it from superior people, from people that are under your leadership? How do you receive correction? And the other thing as well is ideas and advice. You know, how well do you receive? If somebody's coming up to you and say, or, you know, Minister Priscilla, I just want to give you a word of advice. You know, the way you're handling things, if you try and do A, B, C, D, is going to benefit you in a positive way. Or if somebody's sharing, be it a business idea, you know what, again, I used to have this negative thing when somebody comes up to me and tells me, you know, because of sometimes the things that we have seen on social media, people bombarding us with these juice plus and whatever, all these network marketing things. So sometimes I then had this guard on. So when somebody comes with an idea, I want to try and like, okay, is this one network marketing thing? But how do you receive it in such a way that if the person is going to come with something else other than the network marketing thing that you're not keen on, are they going to say, you know, Priscilla is a woman that I can share ideas with?
And that includes, you know, your daily activities. Minister Shama is here. When we first started Further Together, she came up with ideas. She came up with advice and say, okay, if you do it this way, it will become better. Why can't you do this? And we have heard a number of people, Brother Chico have called us several times to say, you know what, guys, you are doing well. What about, how about you do this?
The lighting.
So it's good to open up. The main question is, how do you receive it? Did I receive it in a way that he can come next time and give us more ideas or another word of advice next time?
And on that very note, we've heard quite a lot. You know, sometimes you're a pastor, and you know, some people are giving you ideas on how to grow your ministry, and then you say, well, how can you give me ideas? Which church do you have?
A church.
You know, like, you don't have a church and you're coming to give me ideas. The thing is, you guys out there, you don't have to have a marriage ministry to give us ideas. But you are watching us, you are following us, so you can share ideas. You don't have to be
probably
the same
you
ministry.
saw it from someone. It could be inspiration from your own side. And there are certain skills that are transferable that you might have seen it working in an area where you are doing something. So you are saying, if you take this and transfer it in Further Together, it will work better. So in marriages as well, how do we accept ideas and how do we receive advice? Be it from friends, from children, from your wife and from your husband?
Yes, because it can be hard as well. It can be easy to receive, you know, ideas and all the advice from other people than it can be from your spouse. So how well do you receive that? And the other thing as well is acts of kindness. How well do you receive? If, say, maybe your spouse or maybe your children does dishes, which they probably don't normally do.
If your husband wants to open the door for you, you're coming from the shops.
Do you go like, Kudzie, don't start what you cannot finish? You know, because sometimes you can be like, you're opening the door for me. Why are you starting this if you cannot finish it? So how well do you receive those random acts of kindness? Be it, you know, your spouse doesn't normally wash dishes, and on this day, they do wash those dishes. What are you gonna say? Are you gonna say, what happened today? Like, what are you looking for? Why did you do this?
Why are you being so good? And the other area is affection and attention. How do you receive affection and attention? You know, if somebody is coming and they are trying to play with you, is it you know, or you just ignore as if nothing happened? How do you receive affection and attention? Finally, how do you receive text messages and phone calls? If your spouse is to call you, I just called to say I love you. How do you receive that? Is it is that why you're calling me? What else do you want? Is that is there anything else? Or is that the main reason why you call? I'm busy. Yeah. I know you are busy, but I just want to share love with you.
Yes, and this, we should mention it a lot, especially if somebody is doing something that they don't usually do. You know, get to understand that people are on different platforms. What are you laughing?
Go ahead.
Okay, you know, so it says that's a big one. That's a very big one. That sometimes, you know, you can hear spouse saying that, why would you go and buy
flowers and you know that we don't have cooking oil in the house?
How do you receive? Probably the spouse is saying, I just want to do something to show my wife or my husband that I love them. So that is that's a key one. And we are talking on text or phone calls, and we are saying that sometimes, you know, people are watching things on social media. We are learning. We on different platforms learning in order to enrich our relationships. So if you then see me sending you a text message, you know, and saying, babe, I'm just checking on you, or babe, I'm just texting to say I love you. Don't, you know, bombard me or tell me all kind of things like, oh, where is this coming from? How do you receive a text that you don't normally receive? How do you receive a phone call that you don't normally receive?
Yeah. And why is it so hard? This is where we are going. Why is it so hard for us to receive? Why is it many times when something comes to us, we don't want to receive? Where we are, you know, like we are putting on a shield in receiving. One of the things that we have discovered is upbringing. And upbringing, it includes families. When you are growing up, we were told that don't just receive gifts, you know, don't just accept things. Before you accept a gift, you have to know the motive. Why are they giving you? And as much as that is good, but now we are so much conditioned that even if your wife, even if your children are giving you,
you want to look
at why are they? Why it's too good to be true. The second thing in upbringing is religion, doctrine in religion. I know I'm born again. I speak in tongues and I love God, and I know that. Apostle Paul says it's more joyful to receive than to give. However, giving is part of the equation, receiving is the other part. So we cannot just be giving.
Can't separate.
That's why Jesus, in his balancing, he says, give, and it shall be given unto you. So sometimes religion, be it Islam, whatever, most religions, what they talk of is give. And there is less being spoken about receiving. So hence, I'm sorry, if you have kids, you can, excuse yourself. Hence, when we get into the bedroom with Priscilla, all she think of is she wants to give. When it comes to yes, please. Now I'm thinking it's now time for me to give my wife. I want to do acrobatics that I've never done. I want to give you a style that I've never given you. And to you, you can't receive it well because you were trained that you have to be giving. And questions start coming. Why do you want to do that? Because you are not comfortable with giving. And that will affect the other spouse. Like I said in the beginning, that it will break relationships. So the marriage will break. Why? Because you are failing to receive because of the upbringing, because of religion. So you think that when it comes to sex, it's me. I just have to give women's ministry. The moms who lead women's ministry, go and give your husband. If your husband didn't give him. Yes, but
you do
tell them that there is also time to be given, because when we got married, on the day we were married, I said I do, and you said you do. So I do you, you do me. We have to do each other.
That's the only thing that you got from our wedding vows.
No, that's the most important thing, because the marriage officer will ask and say, do you do? And he will pause. If you don't answer that, then the marriage will not move forward until you say, yes, I do. So what I'm saying is, yes, I do. I'm going to do you, and you are going to do. There is nobody who is going to be just done and only, is doing and doing and doing, and we do each other. So
it's a gift.
It's a give and take.
Yeah,
marriage is a give. Yeah. So if you keep on giving without receiving, you will reach a point where you will burn out.
Yes, you reach a point of depletion. So upbringing can make it hard for us to receive. The second thing is negative thoughts or feelings. So such as, sometimes you might have, if I accept this, then I owe the giver. So I have to make sure that, I keep giving because I owe you something because you've given to me. And it may be, feelings of saying that I don't want to be selfish or greedy, or it could be, I don't want to burden other people. There are some people who literally say, oh, no, don't worry about giving me. Why? Because I don't want to be a burden to you. So which again is a negative thought or feeling. And it could be as well, pride is another thing.
Yeah.
Pride. Sometimes we don't want to receive, not because of many other things, but because we are proud. Yeah. We want to be the ones on the giving end.
Yes,
let me give you, let me give you when I'm giving, I'm receiving, oh, thank you. And then I feel like, yeah, I am the person.
The word thank you shows a lot of humility.
Yeah.
It's one of the magic words. The word thank you, it shows, it comes with a lot of humility. So some people, they don't want a situation whereby they are saying thank you, giving praise to the other person.
Yes.
So then they would rather not receive.
They would rather be the one that gives. And there's this statement that people say a lot, that a giver's hand is always on top. Because if I'm giving you money, I hardly say
take.
Yeah, I'm giving you, I'm giving you. So my hand is on top. So because of that, sometimes pride, people can not want to receive because they are prideful. And I've heard some people actually say that I want to be the one that outgives everybody. I want to outgive everyone. I want you to always know that I'm giving to you more than I would ever receive from you.
And if you are in a relationship and you want to outgive your partner, be careful that they will reach a point where they'll become tired, because they are also trying to give you, thereby showing their love. And if you don't receive it, it's like you are pushing their love away. You are rejecting them. If you deny my gift, you are denying me, because my gift represents me. So I feel rejected. And it breaks, it affects relationships.
And another area as well, why sometimes we may find it hard to receive, is not knowing what to say. And with this one, you hear people say a lot of things. Sometimes you're just given a simple compliment that you look beautiful, you look amazing, your outfit looks great on you, and you just don't know what to say.
Yeah, and people, they start mumbling and saying things, ending up, making the other person feel, awkward, and think, is it, have I said wrong things?
And sometimes it could be, you even go all the way to say, I bought it in Tesco's, I bought it in Asda.
It's a second-hand
thing. I bought it in a charity shop, things that are necessary. So sometimes people may not want to receive because they don't even know what to say. And the last for tonight,
it could be that you feel unworthy. And that is more between husband and wives. When somebody is explaining that, oh, thank you for the way we had our intercourse last night, I enjoyed this. Not taking it that with that you are not seeing yourself as if you are the one, the rightful person. Why you always think that there's somebody who can do it better. So when I say it, you look at me and say, am I worthy that thanks? After all, I'm your wife. I have to be doing it. Yes, you have to. But if you do something that pleases me, I have the right to say thank you.
And I have the right to receive it
and
as well.
You also have to receive it.
And I think right there, what we see is a lack of self-confidence and sometimes a lack of self-love. Whereby you're just feeling like, I don't think I'm worthy of whatever compliment that I'm receiving. I don't think I'm worthy enough of the gifts that I'm receiving. And I can say that this is something that I've done over years, whereby if somebody bought me something very special something very expensive and beautiful, I would look at it and I'll be like, oh my God, I think this is too beautiful. I think if I give it to Minister Sharma, or if I give it to Pastor Julie, I think Pastor Julie is going to love this. She's going to appreciate this. So I would look at myself as I'm not worthy for this kind of gift. And I know I've given so many gifts, and not because I did not want them, but because I felt like somebody else
is more valuable
than I am. And this is not a good place to be, a place of unworthiness where you feel like even this compliment. We're sharing earlier that sometimes people are complimenting you about your body, but you know that you are not where you want to be. You are looking good, but you're not where you aim
want
to
be.
Trim
a little bit.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, you look beautiful. I like your body.
Yeah.
Then you know what? I haven't reached. Don't say that. I haven't reached where I want to go. My goal is nobody is asking you about your goal. They are complimenting you who you
now,
are at the present moment.
Yeah.
So have that self-love when you are given a gift. It could be expensive. The person who is buying that expensive gift, they are telling you that you are so special to them. So learn to be special to yourself. Learn to accept how special you are to that person, and learn to tell yourself that I'm special. This is even applicable to Christians who always stand and say, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But when it comes to the act of receiving, then when something comes to you, you feel like I'm not worthy to take it. There's somebody more special. There is no somebody who is more special than you. So every time you look at yourself, you say, you know what, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So if a gift comes, it's for me. It might look like it fits so and so, but at this point in time, I'm the one.
So now, guys, what we are saying, we should go and do. Yes, Empress Trish says, I'm enjoying this. This is good stuff, guys, and we hope that you will share this. So tonight's assignment is not about you going to give to your spouse. If you want to go and give, if you had planned on giving, by all means. But tonight we want you to go and focus on receiving.
How
well are you going to receive? Your spouse, your children are going to give you that gift, that compliment, that act of kindness. Be mindful of how you are going to receive.
Yes, when people say you look beautiful, you look handsome, you're looking smart. When you go to the office, how well are you going to receive? So go and check yourself. It's just you looking at yourself. How do I receive gifts? How do I receive compliments? How do I receive correction? How do I receive ideas and advice? How do I receive acts of service? How do I receive when somebody is coming and they're giving me affection
and
attention? How do I receive it?
We've got a compliment here. By the way, you look smart, Mr. and Mrs. Coffee.
Thank
you so much, sis. Thank you. We really appreciate that. So, guys, this is what we had time for this evening. We are taking it deeper next week. So do make a date with us. If you can, do kindly share this broadcast. And we'll meet you again next week.
God bless.
From me and
my beautiful wife, we're signing out. Till we meet again.
God bless you. Love.